Hey there! I'm currently writing out the notes for this video because it's gonna be freaking insane. I chopped my hair off. World Rice Probs, you know. Guys, I leave in 5 days. What? Peep that hair, just a whoop. Anyway, so today I'm covering a ton of information on just the smaller stuff that's actually really important. We're gonna jump right into it. Vaccines. First up, go to cdc.org, put in the countries you'll be in, and they're gonna give you a list of all the ones that are recommended. I received the typhoid vaccine last year. I took the typhoid pill last summer before I went to Haiti, which lasts 5 years. So I didn't have to get that again, but that's one that you are definitely gonna wanna have. So typhoid, and then hepatitis A, make sure that you're caught up on that. And then malaria, of course. I'm bringing a prescription. So there's so much. So I'll talk about malaria when I get to prescriptions because there's not a vaccine for malaria. Yellow fever, because even if your route is like mine and there's no yellow fever even present in the countries you're going to, you still need to get it because some countries won't let you in unless you have the little card that you get when you receive the yellow fever vaccine. And Japanese encephalitis, which not everyone got, but I did just because insurance covered it. It's typically in Asian countries, which I will be in for 3 months of my race. And then some people, it recommends rabies vaccines. Some people on my team got them, some didn't. What it comes down to is that if you get the rabies vaccines before you go, and then you get rabies on the race, you'll still have to get vaccines to treat the rabies. You just won't have to get as many as if you hadn't had the rabies vaccine beforehand. Does that make sense? So I'm just gonna bank on not getting rabies, and if I do, I'll just have to get more vaccines than if I had received the rabies vaccines beforehand. Words, wow. I believe that is all of the vaccines. I know some people who go without getting any vaccines. I personally could not do that. So, where to find the cheapest vaccines? Because that's what we want to do here. The yellow fever vaccine typically will not be covered by insurance because there isn't a risk where you're going. So you can tell your insurance company that it's required simply to get in, even though there's no risk there, and sort of see what they do with that. Mine ended up being $175. Some people end up spending $300. The best option you're going to have is to get it done at a county health department because they won't charge as many like administration fees and whatever other fees they charge you at other clinics. Prepare yourself to be talking a lot with your insurance company and with your health department and with your pharmacy, because when it comes down to the prescriptions you'll need for malaria medication, then your pharmacy is going to have to get involved. But for the vaccines themselves, you'll mainly just be going back and forth between calling your insurance and calling your health department, and your insurance and your health department to make sure everyone's on the same page that you're going to be gone for however many months. You need these prescriptions because there is a risk where you're going, and you should be getting it covered by your insurance if they cover those things for you typically. I chose to start my vaccines after training camp. You just want to make sure you have them completed like at least a week before launch. Now onto prescriptions. So first I'll talk about the malaria prescription because that was just kind of the more difficult one to figure out, I guess. Is my dog. So I reached out to some previous racers to ask what they did about their malaria medication. I knew that I'd be in malaria prone countries for the first 6 months straight of my race, which requires a daily malaria pill. That's the only way you can take medicine for it, is to take it daily. So that sort of freaked me out because I know it's such a strong medication, and so sometimes taking it daily for a long period of time can be unhealthy, but not as unhealthy as getting malaria. So you just sort of have to weigh out your pros and cons, but I don't think, and from what I've heard from other people who've taken it for long periods of time, you won't see any super serious negative effects in 6 months. And even if you have to take it for all 11, you should be fine. I've heard it's typically around 2 years, if you'd been taking a daily malaria pill, that it would be unhealthy. So I'm just gonna bank on being okay with that. The medication I am bringing for malaria is called Malarone. It's a daily pill. It's, I believe, 250 milligrams, but it's not an antibiotic, which is a good thing because I guess taking the antibiotic daily could be more detrimental. but Malarone's what I've always taken when I go to Haiti, and I don't have any negative side effects. And because it's an antifungal medicine, totally clears up your skin. Like, so that's really exciting because I don't know what my skincare routine's gonna look like on World Race, so at least I'll have my Malarone. I might as well just get 9 months worth and have some clear skin the whole time I'm gone. But as far as other prescriptions, there's quite a lengthy list that I'm bringing, which is funny because I don't even really like prescriptions. I like the whole holistic thing. I've kind of had to throw that out the window for World Race prep because, you know. Anyway, 2 bags here of prescriptions, so I'm just gonna tell you what I'm bringing. I don't think I should show you the labels, should I? Azithromycin. This is for good old traveler's diarrhea. I don't know how to say many of these. Cefdinir for sinus and bronchial infections. God forbid. Ciprofloxacin for food poisoning. Mupirocin for bacterial skin infections. Ondansetron, otherwise known as Zofran, for potential nausea causing vomiting. So I know that might sound like a lot because it kind of is. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5 different prescriptions, but they're small and they're just preventative. So it's not like I'm actually taking 5 prescriptions every day. But yeah, the only other prescription I have to pick up is Malarone. So the only prescription I'm taking daily is Malarone and then my acne stuff. This is my holistic stuff, which I'm super excited about. Black walnut supplements, black walnut hulls. These are used for preventing parasites. So if I do end up sick, probably from a parasite, I'll take one of these a day and supposedly it kicks it out nice and quick. Garlic supplements, because these help with immunity. So I'll take these if people on my squad are getting sick. I'll just start popping these pills so that I don't get sick. A daily probiotic. So this is Schiff Digestive Advantage Daily Probiotic. And then multivitamins. So I don't know if you've heard of Juice Plus. Looks like this. I had my lovely friend from church said she had some bottles left that she was not using. So she gave me this. Just a little makeup for any lack of nutrition that you'll be receiving while you're overseas. Kind of a lot of health stuff. Also essential oils. I'm bringing lavender, peppermint. Peppermint helps with bugs and with nausea and with headaches, so it's great. Thieves to help with immunity. I'll be doing that on myself every day. Tea tree to prevent lice. Oregano oil to also treat parasites. And Digize. Can't believe I forgot that one. It's probably gonna save my life. It's for all the tummy stuff. So basically, I sound like a crazy woman, but all I'm taking daily, malaria, probiotic, multivitamin. That's all I'll take every single day. Moving on, fundraising. The first thing I wrote is deep breaths because it's not that bad. It's gonna be fun to see all the different people that you wouldn't even expect support you. You know, I have extended relatives that I've never even met that are supporting my trip. I've had friends of my grandparents want to donate to my trip. It's just really cool. So put it out there on social media, what you're doing, a link to your blog, post blog posts, and get people interested in what you're doing because it's a mission for Christ. And there's a spider. Oh my God. We're doing it now. Kill it with this pen. I really got it. I'm ready for the race. Killing spiders. But yeah, keep posting about it. So that's the most important part is persistent. So don't let people forget you're going on a mission trip. You're gonna feel super annoying. I feel so annoying because I post about it so often. But people actually wanna know how you're doing. Post updates on what your total currently is at. All I did, I sent out support letters right when I got accepted into the race. I wrote my support letter and sent it out to 190 people. And that was my best response. I started seeing or having donations come in right when I sent the letters out, which was such a blessing. Prayer, you guys, is so key because God really does provide. And I've seen him do it before for mission trips, so I was able to go at this having those previous experiences. But even if you haven't experienced it before, like he does provide for these things. And if he wants you on the race, he's not gonna let money stop you. Then find something unique to yourself that you can do to fundraise. So I love art and I do paintings and calligraphy. So I made a few sample ones on 11 by 15 paper and put those on Facebook, said, hey, I'm selling these paintings. for my World Race mission trip for this much. And then I got so many responses. So I ended up with 25 paintings, and I made almost $600 for that because people were donating more along with the painting, which was such a blessing. So that is what worked for me, because that's all I did to fundraise. It was a ton of work. Painting basically became my part-time job, but it was great because I enjoy painting, and I'm still finishing up my last few this week before I go. But it did raise me a ton of money, which is awesome. I also wanted to point out, as I've been talking about the vaccines and prescriptions, I've mentioned insurance a lot, but if you don't have insurance that's willing to cover everything, that can be really overwhelming, the prices for different prescriptions and the vaccines. But what I want to encourage you to do is to fundraise for those expenses as well, because there's so many additional expenses with World Race. Don't let that freak you out. Part of me doesn't even want to say that in the video, because I feel like if I'd known that, it would have just been one more thing to freak me out about it. But seriously, God takes care of it, okay? And that's true. Like, He will take care of it. I had a friend, for all the gear that she needed, she made a Amazon wish list and then shared it on her Facebook page and said, if you would like to donate, you can donate by purchasing some of my gear for me. I received a lot of the money for the paintings that I did through cash. So I set that cash aside and told the people who gave me cash, this is going to be used toward not the overall cost, but for my vaccines and for gear that I need and for plane tickets to get to and from Atlanta, because they don't fly you to their base. They just fly you from your base everywhere else. From the base everywhere else. The money I made from the paintings allowed me to pay up front for the vaccines that weren't covered on insurance, so the yellow fever vaccine, and to purchase the gear that I still needed. I was able to go and purchase all of that with cash as well. You'll also want around somewhere between $100 and $200 a month, I've heard, while you're on the field, for personal money. So I am planning on having $100 a month. So my parents are being so gracious, and for anything they would have ever spent on like Christmas or birthdays, they're putting toward a certain amount monthly. And then my grandparents were super generous and gave me a set amount, which will cover a few of my months as well. And then I worked all summer to also fill in the gaps, and if there's anything that's like really expensive, like a adventurous thing we want to do while we're gone, I'll of course cover that with my own money. So don't let costs freak you out, because you can fundraise for those things. Talk to other churches. I go to another youth group at another church, so I was part of 2 youth groups, and they wanted to support me as well. Talk with your own church and ask what they're willing to support. That's helped me out a ton. And then, yeah, just be really vocal about it and take deep breaths. Lastly, before I end the video, I just want to touch on some last minute appointments I made that you may not be thinking about in the heat of everything else. Dentist appointment, get one of those in before you go. A dermatologist appointment if you're like me and have like skincare stuff, just so you can tell them what you're doing. They'll kind of tell you what to expect while you're gone with your skin, and that was just peace of mind for me to go and have that. A doctor's appointment, kind of like I just went to have tell them what I'm doing and have their opinions on what prescriptions to have. And then of course your travel clinic appointment, start making those for your vaccines. Wow, that was a ton of information. I'm going to start packing this week, obviously. Kind of have to do that before I go. I'm really trying to figure out the best way for me to do this packing video. It's a lot of stuff. Yeah, oh, another appointment, make a haircut appointment, because you don't want to deal with your long luscious locks while you are overseas and can't manage them. I'm gonna end this video now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it was helpful. Let me know if you have any more questions, and smile today if you haven't yet. I guess it's gonna be my thing, because everyone needs a reminder to smile. Anyway, I love you guys. Bye-bye.